the information that you get will repeat itself. But if you educate yourself, you will find an approach that some major person stopped doing.
Another key reason you want to continually educate yourself and reinvest in yourself is so you can reinvent yourself. Okay, everybody here is pretty much older. So you guys remember the old Mary J. Blige from the 411? Everybody remember the old Mary J. Blige? But Mary J. Blige is still hot today. Why? Because she continually reinvents herself. Same thing with Puff Daddy. And you can name a lot of different artists that are doing the same thing. Look at Jennifer Lopez. She reinvented herself. She was dead. Now she's the next best thing to slice bread again. So you gotta constantly educate and reinvest in yourself so you can reinvent yourself with the times. So what that does is it makes you stand the test of time. Like right now, the thing that is so magnificent about you guys being here in the Point MMA, the Street MMA, in order for any martial arts school or gym to continue to survive, you have to bring this program in. In order for your business to stay open, in order for your business to thrive and make money, you cannot just be a traditional martial arts school. It's not going to buy. No one wants that anymore. It's just like when Taibo hit. Everybody wanted Taibo. So you had to have cardio kickboxing in your facility in order to make an income. The same concept with MMA. And the people are gonna, they might buy it for a minute if you say you teach MMA, but they're gonna know if you really teach MMA after a while. So you gotta have some sort of curriculum or structured program like this. And again, you guys are here on the cutting edge, reinventing and adding to your arsenal.
In education, I don't read advertisement books of martial arts. I read books outside of martial arts. So when I come in with an idea, it's something that martial arts not doing. I say that to you again. I don't read industry information because it's repetitive. I need to be an innovator on the cutting edge. So I can tell you every week what magazine comes out on what day in every bookstore. Am I lying? Since I was a kid, I can tell you when books come out. They come out on when they come out, Mr. Marco, because you can find them in the bookstore. You can, Mr. Harris and Mr. Green. But whenever I go to the bookstore, I always run into Mr. Harris, so I know where his mind is at. He's always on it. But I mean, there's books, if you talk about trying to start a business, I mean, you can get the fastest growing businesses and home-based businesses in the world. What they do, they tell you exactly. They tell you that you can create your own newsletter. What's something that you like doing? Reading? Okay. What's something? You like herbs? Well, guess what? I guarantee you, you can create, and the books tell you, you can create a herb newsletter and put it online and find enough people that want to buy herbs, and you can sell that newsletter for $600 to $6,000 a year and have residual income coming through your website.
There's a girl, she was 14, she was Jewish. She came out with a magazine called Jew Girl, because they had Teen Vogue and Teen this and Teen that. Well, she made Jew Girl. Jew Girl is the same thing. It's just for Jewish girls that are teenagers. And she's a millionaire right now, I think. And then she was selling it off to, or helping her little sister develop something or another. But she went into college at 18 as a millionaire from creating a magazine called Jew Girl.
So I go back to that, so we told you about that sort of education, and it's like right around you. All what I'm sharing with you is stuff that my teacher told me to do when I was young and I didn't do, so I lost every business. So I'm saying it to you again. All the things that we do now is what Master Brown told me to do and I didn't do, and I lost every business. Jail made me to realize that it's not that I don't know what to do. This is the difference between success. You just don't do it. It's not have knowledge that makes you successful. It's what you do with knowledge that makes you successful. I say that to you again, there's a lot of educated derelicts, but they'll only be working 9 to 5. In this economy, you will never ever be able to have financial security for yourself or your family if you're working a regular 9 to 5. It got to go beyond that. That's a byproduct of something else. Would you agree? In this economy, there's no guarantees anymore. So you got to be ready. And for a younger person, you can't get mad with your employer when they bring you a challenge and say, go take the trash out. Well, I'm going to go take the trash out because I'm going to take your trash out. Then when I leave you, I'm going to go work on my side business. It's all right. I'm going to to make this work, because you would be stupid to leave that money to jump over and just, it don't work like that. I know you might think, quit your job and live a dream. No, it really doesn't. Whatever you got, you hold on to it, you take the arrows, you take the insults, but you continue to work on what your real dream and your desires are on the other side. Which brings us to, as she was saying, and it's bringing you to the point where she's ready to come in. When I said that they put me out, I said, I got to get out of Baltimore. I said, and my niece said, so how you going to do this? I said, I got to live this dream. I've been wasting too much time. And he was right on the step with me. And I said, here, you're going to take this Quran, and I'll be right back to get you. I promise you. So I gave him my Quran from jail, and I told my sister, my niece, that I was ready to walk to D.C. because I needed a whole new start. And she said, in tears, I'm going to give you $20 so you can catch a bus. I knew that it wasn't nothing going to stand in my way this time around because the only thing that stopped me was me. It was nobody else's fault. I put myself in jail. I was already gifted. I already had a brand. I effed it up. So what was I going to do this time? So I got on that bus, and when I got off that bus, I got a job in Burger King. Why? Just so I can have some residual income so I could run them Washington Monument for 2 hours every day. The whole monument for 2 hours every day. So I can check in the shelter and then do what I need to do and work with my instructor. Even though he said I could live with him, I said, nope, I need to live in the shelter because I want to do this and I'm going to do this. And then guess what? The rest started happening. I started developing trust and I got to school, and when I decided that one day there was a conflict with me and him, I walked out to school. I grabbed him and I walked out to school and I said, let's go. So before you have all the success, you're going to have the challenges. So I walked out to school, got bad phone calls, didn't know how I was going to pay rent, didn't know how I was going to make the car note, didn't know how I was going to do whatever. When I got in the car and I was going to pick up another side business called Stronger Than Drugs, where I was going around the country teaching little kids how to stay away from drugs. So the way I made money was to sell t-shirts. So that's Stronger Than Drugs. So on my way to go get them t-shirts, I got lost. And I said, oh my God, that would be a nice school right there. So I kept driving. And I said, God, if you bring me back to this school, that means you want me to open up a school right there. Guess what God did? He brought me back to this school. I always knew about communities. This is your ingenuity and your ability to get creative under pressure. Creativity don't come without pressure. Creativity comes when they crushing on you, and they spitting on you, and they counting you out. That's when real creative ingenuity and even great technique comes, under pressure. So I said, hold up, there got to be a community center around here. So I went and I found the community center. It was a big swim facility called Furling's Aquatic Center. And I walked in and I said, sir, do y'all have a martial arts program here? He said, we used to, but it never worked, so we canceled it. I said, can I have a meeting with you tomorrow? Because I have a blueprint for the perfect martial arts school. Can I have a meeting with you tomorrow? He said, yes, you may. So I got up the next day with my little daughter on my back. That's how I used to roll. Put him in the school, and I walked in with my briefcase, and I sat down while my daughter was stuck on a bottle, and I'm talking to that man. First of all, he said, how in the hell does a man walking around with a baby? At that time, that just doesn't happen. How are you starting a business and taking care of kids? And I kept watching because I had to get back to 3 o'clock to get him out of school. When I gave him a plan, he said, guess what? What I'll do, I'll hire you, and I'll pay you $30 an hour, because I believe in your dream. And I will let you keep all the monies from what you're doing to open up your school. I didn't, oh man, I want to cry right now because of that. Because somebody believed in me. Because I had a plan. And guess what? In 90 days, we got 100 students. And all those students came and found this building. And my instructor, who I left his school, came here and spoke in Chinese and got us this building. It was a little Chinese man. It was just one side. As much as I was going through with my instructor, I still knew that he had the answer. And I called him, and when he came in, he said, this is perfect for you. It's better to have a little school and fill it up with a lot of people than to have a big business and fill it up with a little bit of people. And the Chinese man say, no, 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 buy a building, buy a building. I said, no way, sir, I will never be able to buy a building. I will never, I can't, whoa. But guess what? Because of my belief in my goal, and it still hasn't ended yet, now we own this building.
We own 2 buildings technically, because this is 2 buildings.
So now we own this building. Like she said, we own 2 buildings. So when you have all those things that we did, that we talked about, and you don't ask questions and don't fall apart under pressure, and you educate yourself, and most importantly, you self-promote yourself. Those t-shirts were self-promotion. Even when I was teaching with my instructor, what kind of shirts did you wear, Mr. Marco? Stronger than drugs. So when you at the greatest thing in what you're doing, even if you don't have a storefront, wherever you go, you got to sell your brand. Remember that song called Calvin Klein's No Friend of Mine? You will never see me. She had to get me out of this. I'm all bands. I'm all bands wherever I go. When we go out, can you take off the camos? I'm about self-promotion wherever I go. You got to be about the same thing. I don't care about nobody else's brand because they don't put no money in my pocket. What puts money in my pocket is me. So now when you take all those things, what you got to find out is how do you make it all continue to work and convince those people to want to go out and do for you what they did for me in any business that you're doing. You can be selling doo-doo. If you can.
That lady is a billionaire. Oh, the poopers, the little bag pooper scooper thingies. Picking up poo. She's a billionaire for picking up poo. Like.
So, and before I turn over to Miss Kimber and she talks to you about those little, because we are perfect, we're like yin and yang. I'm a big picture person. I like big stuff. I'm Hollywood. I'm all over the place. But she keep me simple because you gotta have that in order to have this. So you gotta have, in order to have